Hello, viewers. Welcome to another episode of In the Hot Seat. Today we'll be interviewing a special lady. Okay, she is Mrs. Angela Brown Burke, who is the first chairperson or chairwoman for the People's National Party. We have sought this interview for quite a while, and we're very grateful that she could join us today in our studio. So, going to go for a break, and when we'll be back, you'll get to meet and we'll get to find out just who is Angela Brown Burke. Hello, viewers, and welcome back to In the Hot Seat. As you can clearly see, we now have in our presence the new lady in charge. Right? We are very grateful for you to be here, ma'am, to give us an idea, separate from your new role. But we still want to find out just who is Angela Brown Burke.
Okay.
All right. And in the first segment, we're going to ask some basic questions. For example, we'd like to find out which parish were you born in? Where are you from?
I was born in St. Thomas.
Okay. All right.
Dallas, to be exact.
All right.
But I have the privilege of really being a country girl and a town girl.
Okay.
So I came to Kingston really very early, probably about age 2.
Okay.
And then I went back to St. Thomas, right, when I was in high school, around 14.
Okay.
So as you can see, I would have spent about 12 years in Kingston, and then I went back to my roots as a country girl. So, I mean, I tell people that as an adult, I really have the experience of Kingston, and I really have the experience of rural. Although some people say Yalla's not rural enough, but for us it really was.
Well, Yalla's not rural enough.
I know, listen.
Because I've been to Yalla's, and because Yalla's get a direct pipeline from town, from downtown.
Yeah, but I mean, life in Yalla's was really totally different. I mean,
Back then.
Yeah, back then. Back then, I mean, we're talking about on a Sunday evening taking a stroll out to Bay to buy ice cream, and just walk and come back regardless of what hour of the night it was. You don't do those things in a town just like that. Not everywhere in town. So, and we're really talking about farming and that kind of a thing.
Okay.
My mother and stuff raising her goat them on the back.
Okay.
We living off of the little, the ackee tree, the pear tree, the breadfruit tree. Although it's one of those trees, you were able to pick during seasons, send that to market, and you were able to actually raise a family.
Okay. All right. So you are the combination of town and the country girl.
Absolutely. That's how I see myself.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
So when people say to me, for example, people believe that Kingston is Jamaica. I understand. No, but I understand it from a rural perspective.
Okay.
How everything gets centered, framed through the lens of Kingston, and why that really isn't what we should be doing.
Yeah.
And we have to deliberately bring everybody into absolutely.
No, but when you bring in the country part, it shows the variety and the richness of the culture.
It does. It really does. It really does.
All right. All right. So which primary school, which high school, and so on, and
do you know that I have the honor of being the member of parliament with a school called St. Andrew Primary?
Okay.
That I went to.
No, that's lovely.
Yes.
That's lovely.
Yes. So, I mean, that is my primary school.
Okay.
Back then, it was Denhamtown Primary.
Okay.
And when we got to, I think it was about grade 3, it was changed to St. Andrew Primary. We were a little annoyed back then, by the way, because it was changed so that another school could bear the name.
Okay.
And we didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, we did not. We did not. But it was a wonderful experience.
Okay.
And life has just taken me full circle. Yeah, we used to leave out of school and go down a train line to some of my friends who were there to have lunch at home. And that has become the constituency that I have the privilege of representing in the House of Parliament.
And as far as high school, which
well,
so you can shout out your present.
Oh yeah, man, it's Age Quadagis, Wolmer's Girls. Wolmer's Girls.
Okay.
Class of 77.
All right. So you see now, Shelley and now.
There you go. And we have had many in between. No. So I mean, I went to Wolmer's from St. Andrew Primary And I left Wilmer sixth form and went to Cuba on a scholarship by the People's National Party for university.
Okay, all right. Well, that really speaks to one of the other things that one of the other questions I'll be asking, as far as just how you got. But we're still in the primary years and so on. We're not reaching that part of your life as yet. I also always offer to my interviewees the opportunity for them to big up those persons that had positive impacts in their lives. Whether it's someone in primary school, in high school, because they might sometime feel that they are not making their contribution, but you are evidence of their contribution. So give me the name of about, say, 3 persons during high school or even primary school that you want to big up and pay due respect to.
In primary school, it would have to be Mrs. Malcolm.
Okay. She's still around?
She's one of those teachers that kind of identify the students that need a little bit extra.
Okay.
And she was always going beyond. So she knew that
Is that teacher?
Teacher. One of those who, when she see me out there after school going to buy a little thing, she said that's your bus fare is spending, Yeah.
Just step to you.
Yeah, man. Because it's either after school to go buy a little breaks or to take a bus home. Otherwise, I had to walk from St. Andrew Primary back to Oxford Street where I was living at the time.
Okay.
Right? And she just always looked out for us and helped us. When she saw the areas that you were weak in, she would always come through and help. And when she saw you doing well, she would really big you up, And so I liked that about her.
Yeah, what you're talking about is one of those teachers who teaching wasn't a job, it was a vocation.
Oh, no, definitely not. It was a vocation. It was something that she loved. It was also obvious that she loved children, and she loved bringing out the best in us. Okay. And so I kind of appreciate that as well. Another who isn't here with us either would be Miss Shirley.
Okay.
From the Snows from high school. Miss Shirley was our English teacher, Mrs. Shirley. You know what you call her, Miss Shirley?
Don't feel no way, even though they might not be around in person, their family and so on would be very grateful to know.
No, she was an excellent English teacher.
Okay.
And I think one of the things, and is, as I'm telling you, I am recognizing, she was one of those, and very, very excellent English teacher. A very good grasp of the English language. But she liked her Jamaicanness.
Okay.
And therefore, she was never afraid to actually express herself in Jamaican, And I recognize that I am one of those.
So she was bilingual.
Definitely, definitely bilingual. Probably polyglot, if you right?
All right.
But she was definitely bilingual. And it's something that I find myself doing regularly. Sometimes I hear people say, and she said she educated and hear she talk. But I really believe that the Jamaican language is just so much more colorful. Yeah. And those of us who have grown up being accustomed to using it as well find that it is so flexible. The things that you can say, they just don't sound the same way saying them in English.
Yeah, but don't feel any way when people say it, because not everybody appreciates that. Communication is not about telling people what's on your mind, It's to get the message you want to give out. Can
I tell you, I feel no way about it, by the way. Whenever people say that, I find it an opportunity to say, listen, it's part of the reason why some of our children are not doing as well as they could, because you're teaching them in a foreign language. And when you teach them in a foreign language, there's a different way to do it than teaching them in their maternal tongue. Yeah? And we start school sometimes by making some of our children feel as if they're not ready.
Or less
than, because they don't have the same facility with the English language, And so I don't really feel anyway. I'm very, very comfortable in my Jamaicanness, as Rex Nettleford say, in my smadification, right? And my smaddiness. I don't have no problem with that. And when required, I know that English is the language of business, and that there are other individuals who don't understand us if we were to speak in Jamaican. And there's a time and place for that as well.
Right. So the third person now?
The third person would have to be the most honorable Portia Simpson, Sister P, Mama P.
All right.
And, you know, back when I was in high school, she was that woman who was always talking about nanny, you know, and represented that. And who was really just this powerful female politician and firebrand, full of fire, you know, and not afraid, fearless. And that was something that called out to me back then. And I have had the honor to work very, very closely with her. And I have the privilege of representing the constituency that she served for 40 years. Some big,
40
big, big, big
years.
shoes that I can never hope to fill. But I try nevertheless to kind of just take some steps along the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, while you know, you went to sixth form and so on, and you also went and did training outside of Jamaica. But one of the things I wanted to ask, although we might have to come back, is there a particular book or something along that level? What I'm talking about is that I realize that our society is not that appreciative of literature, right? You know, sometimes they would say, if you want to hide something from us as a people,
Just write it, put it in a book, and publish
right?
it.
And it's a sad statement to make, but it doesn't. It don't come from no. It is not like it has
Some foundation somewhere.
in reality. So so that I can, or some of our viewers can get a feel. But that's why we're really here to know. We want to find out just who is Angela Brown Burke. Well, all right. That's the first segment has been exciting so far. So we're going to move on. But viewers, we'll be right back. Do you need your wedding videotaped? Do you need a commercial or an interview done? Then call Sunshine Video Production. We videotape and edit functions, graduations, stage shows, music videos, and even funerals. We have a video studio and offer help with your marketing and promotional planning. So WhatsApp or call us at 883-0525